Hi, this is Chris. I was shopping today and the little fall pies were out, the pumpkin pie and pecan pie. And I like to treat myself to those now and then. So, I was wondering what I could do with these boxes. They have the nice little window, they have the craft paper, pumpkin is like for the season, Halloween coming up, and then Thanksgiving after that. So I thought I might make a Thanksgiving junk journal, a little mini Thanksgiving junk journal. And I think actually this one, I could make this one a Halloween junk journal, and I could make this one a Thanksgiving junk journal. So, what am I going to do? I'm trying to see how the box is constructed, where the seam is. Where is the seam? Oh, the seam is right here, which is on the spine, so that's good. It gives the spine some strength. So I'll open this up. Do I have a letter opener? Apparently not. So I'll try to open it as neatly as I can. And I didn't do too good a job on this because I wanted that pumpkin pie. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this up the middle. Now I'm just going to eyeball it. And so now we have the basis of our book. We have to get a little pie crust off of here. Okay, and then we want to get this sticker off of here, and we want to keep this page as nice as we can. So I'm just going to use the back of my tweezers, I think. You know, a rubber cement eraser might work for that. If you've never heard of a rubber cement eraser, it looks like this. And it's like a big chunk of rubber cement that's been hardened. And it just sort of picks up and rolls off that kind of stuff. And I learned to use these when I was taking watercolor classes. And we would be doing rubber cement resist paintings. Okay, we got the majority of it off. I'm just going to clean some of the adhesive, the rubber cement adhesive off of there. I think you can also use a magic rub eraser. So I'll see if I can get the last of little bits with that. So it just sort of like gathers it together and rolls it off. That's about all you can do with rubber cement. I could probably use some sort of solvent like nail polish remover or acetone or something, but sometimes that can affect the plastic. Okay, that came out pretty good. I can see some smudging around there. All right, now I would like to strengthen the cover by gluing this down, but I'll need to cut some off because it's showing through the front. I'm going to glue this and then clamp it so it'll stay. Here are a couple of clamps. So I'm going to use art glitter glue. I need to clear it out. I'm going to run a little bit of art glitter glue underneath this plastic. And I'm going to put that on there. Clamp it down. Actually, maybe since I only have 2 clips, I can just put my dress weights on there. Put these just on the edge. Make sure it gets down. All right. So now this side, we can cut this and do the same thing. Well, I can't find my bone folder, but I've got this little thing here that could work. Just give that crease some memory. And some more vintage dress weights. And I'll let those sit for a minute. Okay. Those are stuck down. And so now we'll do the top edges the same way. Okay, I moved the foam core out of the way because I need a harder surface to press on. So now I'm just using the back of my scissors to press these joints down, to press these folds, and I'll let those dry for a while. While this is drying, I'll go through my scraps. I have some scraps here. And here is a tea-dyed paper that got a little bit ripped. That's eucalyptus. This is pretty. I can't remember which one that was. I have these stamped tags and some torn paper. I shouldn't use that. And some pages from an old book. And some spatter that I did it over at my neighbor's house with some of her inks and things. And then we need to make some pages, so I've got some more tea-dyed papers here. And what I would use these for is to glue mementos on, maybe. Or make little mini collages for the holiday. And then we need some paper that we can write on. I have these that I just had laying around. I think this one I got at the thrift shop. Either that or I've had it for many years, because look how yellow it is. I may have got it at rummage sale. We have a good rummage sale here. The Catholic Church puts one on every August, and they often have a lot of office supplies. So I'm going to stick those up here for now. And finish with the gluing. So this junk journal, I want to make a hidden spine, so I'm going to cut a piece of paper cardstock to fit this that I'll sew my signatures to, and then depending on where my stitches land, I'll put these little flaps up to help hold it in. So I want to make sure that my stitches fit within that range. Now, what can I use? I want something, a good cardstock. So I have this lightweight cardstock or heavy paper. I think that'll work for the spine. I'll cut it just a little bit smaller. So, pencil, right here, right about there. And line it up on my grid. Not quite straight. I'll line it up with the dots on my grid. Alright, this will go on here. Like that. So, I want to sew my signatures. And since this book is so small, I could just do 2 stitches. 1 stitch here and 1 stitch here, but I think I'll go ahead and do 3. And then I think I'll do 3 signatures. So I'm just eyeballing this. It is a junk journal. They're roughly 1/4 inch apart. Okay, let go. While I'm here, I'm going to put a little bit of glue under this, just to hold it down. It wants to pop up. Okay, we'll set that aside for a minute. Here I have my bookbinding kit, and this is just made out of little cardboard boxes. Covered it with craft paper, covered it with scrapbooking paper, craft paper, put down these little wooden spools that you can get at the craft store, and just used I don't even know what this was, this stick, and it fits right there. So I have black heavy thread, white heavy thread, and I have 2 waxed threads. This book doesn't need waxed thread. I also have elastic. We're not doing elastic. But I think since this is going to be a Halloween junk journal, I'll use the black. I also have elastics. Alright, so I'm sure this will be enough. I need to put that on my shopping list. Now we're going to make the pages, the signatures. So here's my leftover light cardstock. And I have, besides these that I showed you before, I also have some envelopes that I pulled out. Window envelopes. So I don't know if they'll fit because these are pretty small pages. I think I'll start with a few of these. I'll pull out 6, since I'm going to have 3 signatures. That'll be 2 pages that I can use to make smaller pages. 2, 3. I think I'll just use 3 of these. That one doesn't tear straight anymore. Okay, so we need to figure out our page size. It's going to be so it's 4 inches here, and that leaves me 1/4 inch. So 4 inches is a good size. And then this way, it's 4 inches and a little less than 1/4, but we need a little bit of room on each side. So I think the tall, make it 3 3/4. I can do some of this just with my ruler. So this will be the tall. So I want 3 3/4 tall. So 1, 2, 3 squares. You can't see me. Okay, line it up against here. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 of these little dots. And then, whoops, it might be too many pages. Let's see. Okay. So those will fit here. And when they're folded, they will be too short. But once this is up, then they might be too long. So let's go ahead and make them this size, and then we'll trim them later if necessary. This leftover piece comes to 3.5. If I need it, I could use it. Doesn't matter if the pages are all the same height. Okay, now we have this paper. Is this graph on the back? No, it's just plain paper. So I'll take out a few of these. So this size book works out nice because the lines will be in the right direction for writing. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same thing and rip up more pages. That was too big. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, pay attention to what I'm doing. Turn this around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I cut my pages, my papers, 3 3/4 inches tall, which is about 9.5 centimeters. And then I'm going to see how much I need to cut off the width. So if this goes in here like this, it looks like about a 1/2 inch off of the end of each of these pages. So I'm going to just chop them. Not too many at a time. Okay, so they will actually be 3 3/4. That's what we said before, isn't it? Is that right? I just have to double check this. Take a 1/4 off. I would like to take a 1/4 off, and so I would like to make it 4 inches. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. That was a little too many papers. Okay, I'm going to cut the rest of these, and then I'm going to cut from some of my other papers, and then I'll show you how I put the signatures together. Okay, I cut a bunch of signatures, and we're going to need 3 signatures, so I want to sort all these items out. And so I've got one of these, I've got 3 of these, so I guess I'll put those in there. And then I cut some window envelopes. I've got 4 of those. I like the big ones. I think I'll put that in the middle, that one there. I think I'll turn this one this way. I won't use that one. Now, how many of these do I have? There's, I think, 3 in here, so I'll just put 1, 2, 3, and I'll just keep sorting these out until I have all the signatures together and they're sort of even. So now I have 3 stacks, so I need to pile them into each other. After I've sorted them all out, this will change everything around. I'd like to have this one in the middle, and then one of these next to it, maybe another one next to it, and a yellow one. And another white one. Hope it's not too thick. Put the envelope right there. And put a pretty picture in it. Okay, so now we've got our signatures. They're pretty chunky. And this one's a little too big. I think I'll just trim that. And this one's a little bit too big also. Okay, so this is our little template that I wrote on. Put 3 holes in here. Then I'm going to take, that's not sharp, one of my larger needles that's sharp. Which one? This one, I guess. And I'll punch a hole through there. Take the needle all the way through to the eye of the needle will help to make the hole bigger. That. I'll do that to each signature. Now I'll punch my template. Now I'll double check my template in case I turned it upside down. Make sure everything is lined up. All right. Now for my thread. Let's see, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Might as well just use up the whole thing. I can use the same needle. Okay, well I had to go answer my cat's knocking at the door. Coal. And I'll clip it. Okay, now we're going to go through the top hole. And now we're going to go through the middle hole. Oh, I split my thread. Okay, that's a bummer. Split your thread means that your needle went through the thread, and so it won't pull. So where is that? Oh, maybe I didn't. Oh, it just knotted up. Okay, back to the middle hole. doing that. Okay, now I want to tighten all my threads. And go back through the middle hole without splitting the thread. There. Now that makes it nice and tight. Okay, then we're going to go, doesn't make any difference top or bottom. I'm going to go to the top hole, the middle signature, top hole of the middle signature, bottom hole of the middle signature, make sure our threads are tight. Then we want to go through the middle hole without splitting any threads or sewing through any threads. Nice and tight. And we'll come up through the top hole. Just trying to line up the holes. They got shifted. All right. Pull that through the bottom hole. Make sure everything is tight. And back through the middle hole. If it's not there, just make one. This is a junk journal. There. Okay. So let's make sure. Okay. This is the back signature. Turn the right side up. Okay, let's see if this works. It has to work, it's the front signature. You do have to be careful how tight you pull the threads because you can end up tearing the paper. And I think maybe I said that already. Okay, now I'm going to open it in the middle. Slip that under there. And slip this. Professional bookbinders, look away because I am not a professional bookbinder, but I have bound quite a few little journals and sketchbooks. And I have a tutorial on binding a book with the overhead loom method. And it's my best viewed video. It has the most views. Who'd have thunk of that? All right. Now, what I'm going to do is just put a little glue on those knots. If I can find where I put my glue, here it is. I'm going to put a little glue on the knots. It's probably not necessary. Maybe a little glue on the holes in case one of these threads breaks, but this is pretty strong thread. Let that sit for a minute while... Okay, now let's make sure we get this in right side up. So this is the front, and although this envelope opens here, I can do anything I want. I can cut a notch, I could slit this open and cut a notch, I could glue a piece of paper over this. There's all my pages, and then in the side I have the pretty eco prints. This was a red rose. This was the center of the rose, and I took the petals off and laid them down, spread them out, because the rose was way too thick to eco print. And more papers. And here's another envelope. I can seal this one up and put a little journaling card or something in there. And then this was the printed papers that I made with my neighbor at her house. A spatter and all kinds of stuff we threw at it. And then that one's more in the middle, and then we've got our last signature with another window envelope slide in. And another eco print. And all that stuff. So now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down to this. And I probably should have erased that before. But it will be okay. Because this is a junk journal. I am a professional. Alright. That fits within the parameters. So I'm going to glue that. Double check that it's right side up. This is the front. Just center that in there. Get it relatively straight. And then we can go down between each signature and do the center. The center of the signature. Press that down. Okay. Look at that. By the time that gets filled up with memorabilia and notes and maybe some photos or pictures from magazines or some little collages or something. One more thing that I want to do, I want to take this and I want to bend it. And you remember we measured our stitching so that this would fit in there. So I'm going to dry fit it and then I'm going to glue it. Erase these notes. Okay, I'm just rolling that down in there. Now, the other side, do the same thing. Make sure it fits. Take it out and glue it. Looks like it wants to come apart right there. I'll just glue that too. Roll it in. All right, there's the beginning of a little pumpkin pie junk journal. Pumpkin pie junk journal. And what we'll do next time, if you care to come back, is we'll cover this. I think I might put decorative paper on here, but leave it open at the top so I can insert some images in there. And then we'll cover this. And then we'll figure out a closure for it maybe. Because there's a little tiny slot right here where the original closure for the box was. And so maybe we could make a little tab, glue it on here, and then bend it into there. So thanks for watching. Have a great day making a junk journal out of a pie box. Happy Halloween. Bye-bye.